small plane down over by Clarence Center Fire Hall.
My son was looking at the plane saying, I think that's Ellie's plane.
Can somebody get some help for my daughter? She's hysterical.
I don't think there's any way that I can separate that tragedy with my life ever. It's just who I am now.
It's the most tragic event. Mass casualty here in our own backyard.
We need to remember not only their lives, but their legacies. So we call this anniversary 3407 a legacy of hope.
Good evening once again. This is Keith Ranford live. We're in Clarence Center tonight on Long Street for a special half-hour broadcast. We're calling it Flight 3407, a legacy of hope. It was 10 years ago tonight when really the history of Western New York was changed dramatically and forever. A Continental Airlines flight from Newark to Buffalo, operated by regional carrier Colgan Air, crashed here on this plot of land, 5 miles from its destination at the Buffalo-Niagara International Airport. 50 people and an unborn baby lost their lives that night, everyone on board the airplane and 1 person on the ground. Now, tonight we are revisiting that tragic night with those people who were here first on the scene about 10:30 p.m. We're also examining the dramatic safety regulation changes that have happened here in this country, put into effect by the federal government, thanks to the tireless crusade of the relatives who were left behind.
We got a small plane down over by Clarence Center Fire Hall in Clarence Center. We're not sure. We got preliminary that it might be a small jet.
And I remember as I pulled up on Long, the end of Long Street, I jumped out of my car, and as I ran up to the scene, I looked up and there was this enormous fireball, house and totally engulfed, and I could see the tail fin sticking out. And I could see the Continental logo. It's the most tragic event, mass casualty here in our own backyard. But it also signifies a community getting together and coming together for a common cause. That is the hallmark of Western New York. So both the tragedy on one end and a community coming together. That is 3407 in a nutshell.
NTSB made many recommendations. There were dozens of recommendations to the FAA, many of them having to do with pilot training, pilot preparedness, and pilot professionalism. But it was the families that really took the responsibility on their shoulders to lobby Congress, to press the regulators, and to really demand higher standards for pilots.
My daddy was funny, kind, smart, and always protected me. But I couldn't protect him because I was only 2 years old when he was killed in a plane crash.
We were forever changed, and changed in good ways because we don't take each other for granted. We don't miss an opportunity to be together. We don't leave hurt feelings unresolved, all because we know there's no guarantees.
When the crash happened, I said to myself, you know, I want to raise her just how Ernie would have raised her if it were, you know, he and I doing it together.
Baby giggles and garden time. These home movies help preserve the precious few moments that Summer West had with her father, Ernie. Summer was only 2 years old when he died in the crash of Flight 3407. Her face and her story becoming a recognizable one to Western New York.
I even have some strangers come up to me and ask me how, you know, how's Summer?
Summer, take your legs like this. Up, down, up, down.
That 2-year-old is now 12 in 7th grade at Clarence Middle School.
She's happy and funny. Everything that Ernie would have hoped she would be.
From the time I actually heard that sound and thinking that it might be a plane, it might crash, all of a sudden it was us.
Karen Walensky and her daughter Jill escaped from their burning home on Long Street in Clarence Center seconds after Continental Connection Flight 3407 fell from the night sky and crashed into their home.
You know, with all the tragedy that night, all the loss of life, I mean, there was a miracle. Jill and I survived. I just think about all the things that, you know, Doug has missed in those 10 years. I can't go there without thinking about that night and, you know, what Jill and I did. But I think bigger than that is the guilt of being happy again. How can I be happy when this horrible thing has happened?
But she is happy, hopeful, and working to move on. Thankful for each day she has a decade later.
Those 50 people and that unborn baby are gone, but certainly they are never forgotten. Tonight we look back now on the lives that were lost that night right here on this spot in Clarence Center 10 years ago.